This is Fusion, which is a MCP server orchestration platform. On the right here, you see a bunch of pre-built MCP servers built by third-party developers. Normally, you would only be able to see the context space of a single MCP server at a time, but with this orchestration platform, we want you to be able to see the distributed context spaces of multiple MCP servers at the same time. So, for example, we want to add a PostgreSQL MCP server as well as a GitHub MCP server to our system configuration. So we can drag that onto the canvas. And then we can add a composite server, which is the building block of the MCP orchestration system of Fusion. So after dragging the composite server onto the canvas, we can add the connection between the composite server as well as its children MCP servers. And note that here we can't spin up the composite server yet because we haven't added the configurations for its children MCP server. So here we add the database connection string for the PostgreSQL MCP server, as well as the personal access token for the GitHub MCP server. And once we added those, we can now spin up the composite MCP server, which has access to both the context space of the PostgreSQL MCP server, as well as the GitHub MCP server. So we can ask it questions about both my database as well as my GitHub account. Let's say I want to tell me about my database by running select queries, and let's see what it's able to do. The inference takes a little bit of time since it's, but it does have access to both the tools and the context in both of its children MCP servers. So let's see what it says here. Yep, so yeah, it's able to kind of call a tool and be able to see the tables and know what my database is all about. And I can also ask a question about my GitHub. So tell me, examine the structure of the Steven Su SAS Fusion repository. So this is a GitHub related question. So the composite server will autonomously know which specific children MCP server to direct this request to. So here, since it knows it's a GitHub related question, it will direct it to the GitHub MCP server. And if it is a PostgreSQL database related question, it will direct it to the PostgreSQL context space. So here it's examining the structure of my repository, and it's kind of like calling all these tools in that context space and reading the files and everything. So yeah, it's very cool. So this is the Fusion, which is an MCP orchestration platform that allows you to build distributed MCP server systems.